Hey guys, this is Arcosian, or Aiden Hightower, whatever you want to call me. This will be a serious one, and it's been on my mind for like a long time. And I didn't want this to be my first ever story time, and I didn't want it to be ever. But I just feel like I have to fucking talk about this shit. If you know the documentary about Stan Lee's abuse in the comic book industry, it's pretty fucking bad. Because the dude who made the documentary, I fucking hate this guy. He literally made a GoFundMe on the documentary. Dude, just use fucking CapCut. But, yeah, I had to fucking talk about this shit. If you're aware of who Stan Lee is, he made Marvel Comics. Basically all your favorite heroes like Spider-Man, Thor, the Hulk, Iron Man, the Avengers, every fucking character you can imagine, right? So, you're like, where's this story gonna begin? Sorry for my sluggishness. So, we're gonna, take it all the way back in 2017. Alright. I was, probably 11 or 12 years old at the time. I was excited to meet Stan Lee. My mom took me. I believe it was in, shit, let me think. I don't want to, dox my location, but, it was basically in the South. I was fucking excited to see Stan Lee. I was, 11 or 12. We got the cosplay together. I cosplayed as, homemade Spider-Man from Spider-Man Homecoming. I love the fucking suit, man. It was really good. Sadly, I didn't have the web shooters, but we got packed up, ready to go to this con. It was several hours. I was excited. I was really excited. We looked around for a bit. I had to stay in line, by myself for, I want to say 5 hours. And then when I finally got a picture of Stan Lee, I was so fucking stoked, dude. When I first saw him, I was like, holy shit. I'm seeing, I was like, I don't know, man. I was a big fan of Stan Lee as a kid, since I was, I don't fucking know. Since I, entered out into this world, I don't fucking know. Entered into this world, got into Marvel and shit, watched the animated series, Spider-Man Unlimited, Fantastic Four, the 90s Hulk cartoon, all that shit. I was into the fucking comics as a kid. My parents basically fucking raised me on Marvel. But, when I saw him, I was like, holy shit. I didn't know what to fucking think, man. When we took the picture, I didn't look all excited. When I was standing near him, I was like, no, I don't want to be here. But I didn't know what to fucking think, dude. I did not know. I was just like, I'm seeing the father of Marvel. I'm looking at a god, this thing. And, he just seemed off, he seemed, super tired. Even me as a little kid, I thought something was, really off with him. And I didn't know what it is. I just wrote it off as him being old, because Stan Lee back in 2017, he was, approaching, I want to say his fucking 90s at this point. Before he passed away. And then, afterwards, I was telling my mom. I didn't tell my mom about, the thing that I thought was off about him. And people were going to be like, oh, why didn't you talk about it? Why didn't you talk about it? You could have said something. Like, you know how 2017 was, right? Logan Paul's dumbass literally went to the Japanese suicide forest. Like, the internet was a fucking, like, chaotic place in the late 2010s. You know what I mean? It was very fucking chaotic. Like, if you said anything about this creator, you're a clout chaser and shit, like, it was very insane. Like, now anyways, like, months go by, and then, like, when I hear about his passing, I was like, oh my god. Like, I expected it because he was really old, like, he was approaching his 90s, and stuff like that. I just assumed he had a heart attack or whatever. But, like, when I read an article about him being abused, allegedly by his daughter and his so-called managers, who acted like they had the best interests in mind, I was like, oh my god, this makes sense now. My suspicions were correct. All this shit, you know. And, like, when I saw, like, a GoFundMe for his documentary that he was abused, and this guy had all the clips and everything, I was fucking pissed, you know? Like, I had to call him out for this shit. Like, if you had videos and fucking photos of this shit, why didn't you, like, send that shit to the FBI? Like, you're just fucking, like, milking every drop of Stan Lee after his fucking death. Like, what fucking... you weren't even fucking human to me. Like, I don't want to cuss too much because I know I'm gonna get demonetized. And I don't want to wish ill on anybody, but I hope he just burns in the deepest fucking pits of hell for this shit. Like, if you looked at the documentary, I watched it, like, last night. Like, last night. I saw, like, a few things on it. I was pissed. Like, it was clearly that, like, he wanted to milk him as well. He abused him. There's, like, so many, like, clips where Stan Lee got pushed. Like, all this crazy shit, dude. All this crazy shit, you know. And it's honestly sad how my boy Stan went out. Like, I've been, like, a fan of his, like, long as I fucking remember. Probably before, like, I was ever born. Before I left my daddy's ball sack, you know. But, like, shit, I was a massive fan of his, and then, like, seeing this documentary, it just made me angry, and I don't want to feel angry. Like, I know Stan wouldn't want us to feel angry, he would want us to feel happy, be a family, you know. Like, if you ever watched a lot of his interviews, he was literally like, he wants the world at peace, so... I hope we can learn, like, anything from this. Like, never spread any ill sort of hate on people, you know? Because when I watched the documentary and, like, when I first heard about it, I was fucking pissed. Because the GoFundMe... Because he literally could have just used fucking CapCut or any free fucking editor. But no, he had to make a fucking GoFundMe on this shit. Like a fucking GoFundMe. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you absolutely fucking kidding me? Like, I wish, like, the worst on this guy. And I don't want to wish, like, anything ill on people. Like, I just hope he's, like, sent to, like, the pits of fucking Tartarus or fucking Hades, or he's just drowning in fucking lava, and, like, Satan and shit are laughing at his ass. Like, you know what I mean? That's how pissed I am. And even hell's probably not gonna do anything for that bastard, you know? And I'm not trying to say, oh, he's like the main one who abused Stan. There were several other people. His daughter, like several other fucking people. Even Marvel themselves, like, weren't paying him properly, not giving him royalties. Like, if you look into this shit, it's very fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? And I felt like I was there at the ride. And, like, when I heard about the documentary, I was just like, I can't be fucking silent about this shit forever. Like, you know? I just fucking can't anymore. Like, I hate fucking anybody who abuses, like, elders and shit. Or has, like, power on elders. And not just elder, but, like, kids, too. Like, anybody that's vulnerable, you know? Like, mentally vulnerable or anything like that. Like, from what I learned, if, like, you hear about or see anything suspicious with, like, elders or kids or anything like that, please report it. Like, that's what I should have done, I felt like. But at the time, you know, like, 2017, Logan Paul, like, if you said anything negative about, like, any celebs or anything like that, because Stan Lee was a household name, like, in 2017, like, you would have got not canceled, but cancel culture wasn't a thing, I don't think. It wasn't, like, popular until Logan Paul came along, you know? Like, you would have been called a clout chaser, a fucking dick face, you know what I mean? And now I just feel like it's the perfect opportunity for me to give my side, or my perspective on this. Because I can't just sit down and watch as people, as this dipshit, like, profits off his fucking legacy, you know? Just because he was close to him, or whatever the fuck he might think he is. He's deluded as hell, you know? But, yeah, I'm glad I got this off my chest. Like, comment, and subscribe, dudes. You know. Rest in peace to Stan. Like, and fuck anybody that was involved with abusing Stan in any type of way. Like, if we can learn anything from this shit, like, anything, like, if you ever see anything type of suspicious, please report it to the authorities, like, as soon as you fucking can, or get any type of proof of this shit, like, before it's too late. You know, I feel like I kind of regretted it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm like, I didn't know at the time, because cancel culture and all this stuff wasn't around yet. Like, 2017 in the early to late 2010s was like the digital Wild West on the internet, you know. And what I can learn from this, from my experience, is I maybe should have told somebody, or at least said something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of regret it. But I think one thing we can all learn is to love each other on this earth. Don't hurt anybody, you know. Because Stan didn't want us to be, like, violent and stuff like that. He wanted, like, peace on earth. To everybody love each other like a family, even though we're not, like, blood. You know? Just don't spread any kind of hate, you know? I don't know how to say this. I already said subscribe. But, yeah, boys and girls. Hope you have a good rest of your day. And peace, you know? Goodbye.